Good evening, Cherries fans, and welcome to this latest opposition preview show here on Up the Cherries in all departments. Now, of course, our next match is in the FA Cup against Swansea City. It's live on S4C. If you've got the BBC iPlayer and can't make the game, you'll be able to watch it on there as well, albeit in Welsh. We do have a very special guest, though, with us. Now, there was a program back in 2013 called The Call Centre. You probably can remember the characters such as Nev, Hayley the Tea Lady, Griff, and of course, Chickenhead. And it is a pleasure to welcome onto the show Matthew Thomas, also known as Chickenhead. Welcome to the show, Chickenhead. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Excellent stuff, and thank you so much for joining us. So, I'll tell you what, let's start with the call centre. Of course, you're the star of the BBC programme that started in 2013, wasn't it? That it's began
Yeah,
in.
I think it was 2013. Yeah, and then they'd repeat. Well, they'd series like 2014. I think there was another one 2015 then, which I went in the 2015 one. That was the they went to India. I was asked to go, but I never went.
Oh, why not?
I finished working at the call centre after 2 or 3 years, and I don't know if you remember Twee that was on the show, the short
Yes.
ball guy. He was a close friend of mine at the time, and he set up a different call centre. So I went to work with him, and Nev was on the phone. You know, can you come back? You know, to come to India. You'll have this and that, and this will be sorted. And because Twee was a close friend, he set up a call centre. I didn't want to just leave there because I'd only just gone there, sort of thing. But part of me wishes I went, but then, you know, part of me, I'm not that bothered, to be fair. I enjoyed the little experience at the time, but, you know.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. So, of course, your nickname is Chickenhead, but your real name's Matthew.
Yeah.
Go on. How did you get that name? How did you get it?
It was literally when I was about 15 or 16. I was down my local football club at the time, and I used to have Mohicans when I was a kid. I used to absolutely love Beckham. So, you know,
Yes.
Beckham would have the blonde spiky highlights. I'd have the highlights. Beckham would have the Mohicans. I'd have a Mohican. So at the time, I had a Mohican.
Yeah.
So this old guy, like a pensioner drinking on the club, and he just shouted, "Chickenhead, passes my pint." And it just stuck from then. So, you know, the chickens have obviously got that thing on the top of the head, didn't they? And,
Yes.
and that's just where it come from. And like people were laughing and joke about it, call me Chickenhead all day that day. And it just sort of, I just stuck. And like I said, when people call me Matthew now, I'm like, are you talking to me? Because it doesn't feel right when someone calls me by my real name. That's so, you know,
How did it stick though? Because of course, you must have told them, "Hi, I'm Chickenhead."
No, it's like I said, it was just down the football club that day, and then
Yeah.
people started laughing and joking at the fact that this pensioner had called me Chickenhead, just this guy at the bar, and it just stuck. And then, you know, people latch on to it, and then start calling you at first of all like taking the piss, and then it just sort of stuck, and then latch on to it. More people will start calling you taking the piss, and then it just ended up being my nickname. It's like I should be changed to Chickenhead by Paul. You know, it's weird when someone calls me Matthew.
Well, let's go on to the call centre. When did you start working at Save Britain Money?
It was about 2011, so it's a good while ago.
Yeah.
I was there must have been there about the best part of about 3 and a bit years, maybe.
Yeah.
It was really my first proper sales job, to be fair. I'd worked in Amazon for a bit, and I just applied. I knew someone that was working there. I got the job, and I just loved it. Absolutely loved it. The money was brilliant as well at the time because I was only young. I think I took the job when I was about 23, something like that. So it's a while ago now. I'm 36 now. It seems like a lifetime away, but you know, time flies by.
Yeah, it does. And did you expect when you first walked through the doors of Save Britain Money and met Nev, did you expect to be a star of a TV program?
No, it was a bit mental, to be fair. So the reason I got the job was Nev was in a relationship with a girl that I knew.
Yeah.
So that's how I got the job. And I just gone on like House on Fire with Nev, and like I said, it's working there. There was talk of, the BBC have been in. They want to have a look at call centres around Swansea. They want to make a documentary type series based on call centres and cold calling and nuisance calling, as some would call it. And they took a shine to our call centre because at the time Nev was getting like funding from the government and grants, and he was getting funding to employ staff. And at one point, I think there was about 600-700 people working there, and there was many different characters. And the BBC took a shine to us, and they just decided to make a documentary. And the filming must have gone on about a year before it actually was aired.
Did you have to do the Killers song when you first started, or did
I,
that
got- I
come in
got
later?
I got to be honest. I hate the song, and it comes on now, and I'm sick of it. It brings back memories when it comes on.
Yeah.
But it was overplayed. It was on all the time. Even on the radios now down by me, the Wave and local stations, they still play it. And I'm just sick of it, honestly. But at the time, it was a good laugh and a joke, singing and dancing. But when it comes on, I feel like switching it off.
Well, you were one of the top salespeople in the call center. Um, how did you find it initially? Going into the call center, and did you hit the ground running, or was there a bit of a build
I,
up?
I, I got to be honest. Must have been the first few weeks. I didn't really like the job, but I just sort of stuck it out. And I was like 22, 23. Like I said, it was just at the time, it was just money to go out, money in your pocket, go drinking, partying. And I just sort of stuck it out. And I sort of got used to it in the end. And I just became good at it. And just my character, the way I'm on the phone. But yeah, it's not a job for everyone. It can be very stressful. You can feel like just quitting the job, and like I can be like hot-headed, and I just start throwing stuff, and it can be that type of job.
Yeah.
It can mentally ruin you, But then sometimes you can speak to some interesting people, and you can have a laugh and joke with them, and But that is very up and down, very up and down. It's not for everyone.
I've worked in call centers myself, and I think that you do get those characters, don't you, in a call center where they just they're just everybody's different, aren't they, in there?
Oh
And
yeah,
you just make friends for life. And you made a lot of friends for life in that call
yeah,
center, didn't
absolutely,
you?
yeah,
One of those really, really good friends, sadly, is no longer with us, is Griff. And I was watching some clips earlier on of what Griff used to do, and like the initiation that he used to put through new starters was brilliant. Where they had to give him a call on his mobile. Did they
yeah.
firstly know that they were calling Griff?
Yeah, no, no, of course not. No, you get a lot of people that will, they think we're actors, so
Yeah.
they think it's all staged, it's all set up and stuff. Yeah, okay, we do like the prank here and there, but I'd probably say 90% of it was genuine. Whereas I
Mhm.
guess so many people say, "Oh, are you an actor? Was it staged? Was it all set up?" It was genuinely 80-90%. I'd probably say genuine. But there'd be the odd, like, sort of like 10-20% where they say, "Oh, will you do that again? Will you do this again? Or will you say this again?" So it was genuine, but they'd get you to repeat it or say something again. But
Of course, there is that famous clip where Griff is called up by the new starter, and the new starter calls him Harry straight off. And then he goes, "No, it's Barry," and
yeah,
of course starts going through everything. Um, was you there at the time? Can you
no,
remember that call?
I wasn't, because me and Griff used to work literally sat next to each other.
Yeah.
I think this did affect the TV program, the series. We used to sit next to each other religiously every single day, and such a laugh. But it got to the point where they had to separate us
Mhm.
because we could be hard work. I'll be honest. But I think that it did affect the series, because I think it would have been better off keeping us together, because they did split us up, and there was like a lot of episodes then where we weren't together,
Mhm.
and I'd miss sitting next to him, he'd miss sitting next to me, and it just wasn't the same.
I completely agree. With the people that I've worked with, and there's one person that I, used to work with, a guy called Pat, and literally he would make the calls out, and he would add in these strange words, and listening
Oh,
back to these calls, and nobody's ever heard of the word flapes or spingo cream, and you think, what
Griff
are you
was
going on about?
exactly the same. I
Yeah,
there was this saying he used to say all the time, and if you thought something was good or you'd agree, you'd just go, Bonnie de douche. I don't. I think it's from. Is this something for like only fools? I think
yeah.
the term and the meaning is shower cap. It literally means nothing. It's French for shower cap, I think it is. And he'd just go, yes, 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 Bonnie de douche. And it's like pointless and meaningless, but it just. Or if a customer would say something rather than fair enough, he'd go, "Oh, furry muff, yeah, furry muff," just like coming up with random shit. Like I'm just looking at them like, and I'm like, you talking to a customer like that, and he genuinely is, but because they don't expect it, they can't hear you saying it.
It's what makes the call center, though, isn't it? That is
Oh yeah.
really what makes it. Is people like Griff, who are just have a laugh with the customers, and I'm
Oh,
sure the customers love it.
honestly, he was absolutely bonkers on the phone. He'd be talking about X Factor one minute, then he'd be talking about Swansea City and who scored this and played. Oh, he's absolutely mental. He could be talking about a boiler one minute, he's talking about the X Factor the next minute or something. Just bonkers, he was absolutely bonkers.
Well, of course, you was known as a bit of a ladies' man in the office as well, wasn't you?
Yeah, I
Um,
was. I was.
at the
I was just a
time.
bit of. I was just a bit of an idiot when I was younger. That's why I think I was just like a lad.
Yeah.
When you're younger, you drink, you go out, you party,
Oh,
you play
God.
up a little bit. You show off, and I was just a bit of a lad when I was younger.
Yeah, fair play, mate. Fair play. But it was a great program, and of course, Nev, again, sadly no longer with us.
Yeah.
Is got to be one of the. Was he always an approachable boss, or was he sometimes at times strict?
Um, he's he did have a bit of a hot head in him, but
Hmm.
a lot of the time, he's very approachable. He would do anything for you. He helped me a lot. I had struggles back then with certain things like, I didn't have a car because I was only like 22, and I used to blow my money on drinking and
Hmm.
going out gambling and just being a bit of an idiot and a lad. And he'd always pay for me to go to the Swans all the time. I had free tickets. I'd go down the boxing. I had free drink, food. He'd like a brand new Mercedes and Volkswagen 3 litre. He'd like chuck me on the insurance and he'd let me borrow it. And, just like helping you with I'd have a sub here and there. He couldn't do enough for me, honestly. He was brilliant.
There was another clip as well, where Brent actually parked the car into a
Oh, in the
bush,
bush.
didn't he? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was that your car?
Yes, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. The Micra, like I said, the way Nev was, he'd always help me out, and he sort of like took me under his arm, because I was friends with his partner. He sort of
Yeah.
like looked after me. I wouldn't say better, but really well. And it was his brother's car. It was, and honestly, the car must have been about 17, 18 years old. I think it was 2000 and I think it was a 1997 car or something like that, a Micra. And
Yeah.
he gave it to his brother, and his brother literally used it every day to drive 1 mile to go back and forth to the shop. So I had the car like 13 years later, and there was like barely 2,000 miles left on it. So it was a great run. Honestly, I had it back and forth to work and that. It done me great. I ended up giving it to Brent, and honestly, God, he smashed that thing up. Honestly, hitting curbs, pillars. He'd only had it a few weeks, and it looked like a write off. And he was driving it around with the bumper hanging off and parking in bushes, hitting pillars. Just absolutely mental.
I remember as well, Griff actually went in to try and get um he tried to get a parking space for Brent as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
But did he ever hit anybody else's car trying to park that thing?
I don't know. I can't not that I can think of. But like I said, he was reckless with his car, and I'm a shit driver. But just mental, hitting pillars, parking in bushes, hitting curbs. God, he ruined that car, and I had the car, and it was immaculate. Even the car was like 16, 17 years old. It was immaculate. It was.
of course, Nev was very well known for his slogans, wasn't he?
Yeah, he
Some
was
will,
very
some won't.
influential, inspirational. He'd come up with all these quotes, slogans,
Yeah.
sayings, and yeah, they made sense.
The one that sticks with me is "Happy People Sell," and it seemed
That is
like a
true.
happy workplace.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, if you start getting to that negative uh, frame, you're not going to go anywhere. You got to keep positive. I was quite positive in general. So if someone would tell me where to go f off and do this, do that, or I speak to a lot of English people and they'd call because I'm Welsh. They'll say, they call me Indian and things like that, or they tell me to speak English because do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But yeah, you got to be positive. You got to be positive.
But of course, you're big into your football, and
Love my
you,
football.
of course, big Swansea fan. That's why you're here.
Massive, massive.
But you also play football, and played football at a decent level, didn't you, as well?
Yeah. So I've always supported Swansea, like when they were done the vet field. So
Yeah,
you get a lot of like when Swans went to the Premier League, you get all these supporters and fans coming from nowhere,
yeah.
filling it out 25,000 week in, week out. But I was down there, when it's 3 or 4 thousand, the cold nights on the vet field. I was going down like 7, 8, 9, 10 years of age. So I've been through all the hard times, the good times, and it's a bit of a roller coaster. But yeah, I've supported Swansea since I was a young age. I've gone to all like the big cup finals. I was there when we had to win in the last game of the season to stay in the Football League. Even when James
Yeah.
Thomas scored a hat trick, I was down there. It's a big shot me in the news of the world. I've got like a scrapbook where I've got all the Swans memories, my footballing memories, playing football memories. But yeah, I've been playing Welsh League over the years, and I was playing on the Swans when I was younger. I was playing
Hmm.
for Swansea City as a kid and that for a bit, but I was just a bit of an idiot when I was a kid, if I'm being honest. I was, going out drinking and I'd miss my football training to go and play football for the school. I'd be missing games because I'd be staying up late the night before when I was a teenager. Looking back, I wish I'd changed it. But when you're young, you're stupid, you do stupid things, and I didn't realize at the time. But yeah, I absolutely love my football. I'm playing for Casino now. It's not a bad start. Well, it's not the greatest to be fair, but it's not bad. It's just local league. It is at the minute.
Good colours though.
Yeah.
You're playing.
Well,
Of
like I
course,
told
they're in
you,
the
it's
flag.
like black and red. Our
Yeah.
first team kit is literally is spot on to the Bournemouth kit, the black and red one, as you've probably seen on Twitter.
Yes. Yeah. I
It's a lovely
certainly
kit.
have.
Even the clothing range, it's lovely. Nice fitting them, lovely.
What position did you play in, or do you play in?
Well, I only started playing as a striker when I was about 15 years of age. When I first started playing football, must have been about 6, 7 years old. I was always like a centre midfielder because I was very up and down. I was good at tackling. I could pass a ball. I could chip in with the goal. So I was very up and down centre midfielder up until I was about 14, 15 years of age. Um, when I was signed for the Swans, I was actually picked up as a left back. So I was playing for Swansea representatives. I'd come on half time, I think it was, and I've just gone to left back. I think just because I was a left footer, so they just put me back there, and I had a storming 45 minutes. We were playing against the Swans, so Swansea representatives against Swansea City, like centre of excellence at the time, 13s, 14s, and I had a great half, and they've just picked me up just like from nowhere, and I've gone there back as a centre midfielder, and then they've dropped me back as a left back, and I spent a few seasons there, and I just got released in the end. But I went back to my local team, which was Garden Village at the time. Went back playing Welsh League and that, which was a good standard. And I started playing up front, and I just can't, I haven't stopped scoring. I was scoring ridiculous amounts. I thought at a time I was about 15, 16. I was fit and sharp, and I was scoring ridiculous amount of goals. And I thought, I might have a chance here to like maybe get back into maybe that Swansea City sort of level, youth team football,
Yeah.
maybe have another crack, or maybe a team would pick me up again, but just never happened. Like I said, I got to about 17, 18, then again, the beer then, that was the worst thing about it.
No, fair enough. Of course, we have, but your idol, growing up was David Beckham. Of course,
Yeah,
the hair,
yeah.
you know,
Canton on Beckham. They used to call me the Canton on the call centre as well, because the way I was and the way I used to stroll around the place, and just my demeanour and the way I am.
And of course, I was a big Beckham fan. In fact, I had
Oh,
him on my wall as well because
yeah,
he was just a majestic player to watch.
yeah,
Just curling that ball in from a free kick. The Greece game sticks out in my
yeah.
mind. That goal. Um,
And the goal against Wimbledon when at the halfway line, the one inside his own half, I think that was
yeah,
his first. Was that his debut or his first goal? It was one of his first games, wasn't it? The
yes,
halfway
it
line
was.
against Wimbledon.
Yeah,
And, that's one. Like you said, that and the Greece goals are iconic goals, aren't they?
yeah. And of course against Argentina as well in the World Cup.
Yeah.
That goal, that retribution as well.
Oh, I was just going to say about that. Did you watch the documentary on Netflix?
Yes, yeah, I did.
Oh,
Yes.
it's mad the amount of hate and death threats he had towards him
Mm.
just because of that. It, and then he's obviously turned it around then, and now literally everybody loves him again. It's like that's forgotten about again.
I guess English football at the time it was
They were expecting to win things. The Michael
yeah,
Owens, the Scholes, Gerrards, the Lampards, Beckham. They were expecting to win things, and they
yeah, and I think Beckham was a standout player. How he
yeah,
used to spray the ball from one side of the pitch to the other. It was
yeah.
outstanding. You
And
did,
he was an icon as well, and he's a fashion icon when he
yeah, yeah, exactly. He married a Spice Girl. God's
yeah,
sake, everybody
exactly. Which
wanted to
was
be him, didn't they?
yeah, exactly.
But you did play in some charity games as well with Nev and a couple of the
Yeah.
team from the call
Now,
centre.
I got to be honest, that was a good experience. Meeting a lot of celebrities and that. Played on the Liberty a few times. Funny enough, not long after Nev passed away, about 18 months ago, I played in another celebrity game down the Liberty Stadium. That was in memory of Nev, funny enough. And,
Yeah,
you know, from the experience of being on the call center, I've met a lot of, famous people. I've been involved in a lot of things, but it went really big quick, but then it sort of like died really quick as well.
mm.
But like I said, met some great people along the way, and had some great experiences. And
We were speaking just before you come on air about going to the Indian call centre as well,
yeah,
and
part of
you
me's
missed
gutted
out
about
on
that.
that.
Yeah, I am a little bit gutted about that because, like I said, I think they went for about 3 months filming. I think it was.
Yeah,
um, you know, paid for and all that shebang. But I am a bit gutted because it would have been a great experience. But I just felt because I had my loyalty, because I mentioned earlier that Twee that was in the program,
yeah,
I'd finished working in the call centre. Twee had set his own call centre up. I'd gone to work for him, and Nev was on the blower, and he was asking me, to go back out and that. And I was like, what do I do? I'd be on the program again. The money wasn't great at all. Like we had
mm,
nothing for the first and second series. It was just like an experience, and I got to be honest, we got a bit tucked up. If anything, I think Nev made a wedge from it. I think Haley
yeah,
had bits and pieces from the program, but the rest of us had absolutely nothing. But because it was the third series in India, and because the first series and the second series was so successful, I think they wanted to make sure the third one was as well. So they were trying to get us out there, and they were offering a few £1,000, and it was next to nothing. What they were offering, I could have earned that working anyway in the call centre. But
yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm glad that I didn't go. But my loyalty was to my friend Twee because he had given me a job because he'd set up his own call centre. Not long after I finished in the call centre, you see.
I've got to ask at this point, of course, Haley was the tea lady.
Yeah, she's done well. I got to be honest, she's done really well. She's doing the odd documentary for the BBC, just
Yeah,
the things about like fake tan, mental health, and other
yeah.
things.
Did she make a bad cup of tea though?
Oh, honestly, good. She could fuck up a glass of squash. That girl could. Honestly, she was bloody useless at everything. Honestly, um, tea tastes like shit. I think Nev was. He took such a shine to her. I think
Yeah,
her attendance was poor. She wasn't the best on the phones. She was a liability. She was just loud. She was hard work. But I think Nev took such a shine to her. I think he was just trying his best to keep her in some sort of a job, whether it be a tea lady or a cleaner.
yeah.
But
Fair play to him. Fair
I think he
play
was
to
just
him.
trying because she was always late, sick and just absolute nightmare. She had ADHD and a few other things, and that didn't help. But like I said, I think Nev took such a shine to her. He just wanted to keep her in the company and wanted to keep her in a job so she had money in that, and because of the series as well, there was more reason to keep her there because obviously she done very well.
Yeah, definitely, and she's doing really, really well to this point. I know she was on
Yeah,
Radio Wales, wasn't she?
yeah, she's got her own station channel or something, talk station or something, chat show. She does that. I know she's doing it now, but she was doing it regular for a while. But like I said, she does the odd BBC documentary. But what I think helped her, she was, she was loud, she was likable. She could be hard work, but like after the sort of series like stopped and that, she had like a good agent, and she was like doing the Nuts magazines, the Zoo magazines. She had her tits done, So
Yeah.
that was that helped her. And then she did a few documentaries for the BBC. So she's always sort of like kept in the eye, sort of thing, and had a bit of media and a bit of press and that.
I've got one story actually, and I did tell you a little bit earlier on, but I'll tell it on the show as well. I did actually speak to Nev. I did speak to Nev, and it
Yeah,
was quite funny because what we had, it was during lockdown. We had this account, and this account, had a picture of one of the colleagues on it, female colleague, reaching out to people, and everybody had access to it, so everybody was adding it. And I saw that somebody had added Nev. So I thought, right, I am calling that straight away. Managed to get through to him, and I tell you what, the
was it like?
conversation.
Was it selling data to him? What type of call was it? What were you
It
doing at
was
the
actually
time?
a phone system. I was trying to sell him
Yeah.
a phone system. So I called
Well,
up.
like an iPhone or something, is it, or Samsung or
No, it was desk phones. It was
that? Oh,
desk
desk phone,
phones.
yeah.
Yeah, desk phones. And it was just brilliant, the conversation he had. He had so much time. He
He-
didn't buy the phone system, mind, but it was just brilliant. The camaraderie. You sat by a pool.
Yeah, like I said, that could have been in holiday or could have been in his back garden at the time. But
Yeah, I know that. I think it was it a peach daiquiri he said he had at the time, but it was just brilliant. He was just himself.
Nev used to like a drink at a party. He was a very strange character because he used to like a drink, but at the same time, he's very religious as well. And
Mm,
it was just his personality and his characteristics was just a bit bonkers, Like I would not have him down as a religious man, but he
no,
was because he liked the party, he liked the drink, he's very sociable, he's very outgoing and that. And then I just could not imagine him praying on a Sunday.
but he was such a gentleman, and he did look
Yeah,
after the team. You
yeah,
know,
oh yeah, big time.
And one thing that always struck me with him is, even though, let's be honest, business is business. Sometimes, as a business owner that Nev was, there was those decisions he had to make which were tough.
Yeah, higher
Tough decisions.
fire. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the company went into like a sort of liquidation sort of time after the series had finished, and it was very sort of cutthroat then. So, like I said, at one point there was about 600-700 people working there, and like nearly all of them went, apart
Mm,
from one or two here and there. But I actually got sacked. I did, surprisingly, but I think it was because of the position the company was in. I think it was just like I got sacked, and it's just an excuse for me to go then, another person off the wage bill.
yeah, no, fair enough. I can understand, that of course times got hard, and there was a little bit of a downturn, wasn't there, in the financial landscape at the time, wasn't there?
Yeah, exactly. The company was struggling. I don't know whether they overemployed or whether the funding was pulled because we were doing loft and wall insulation and boiler grants and things like that. So I don't really know too much in detail. Like I said, it could have been to do with funding grants. It could have been like the wage bill. I'm not too sure in you know what exactly it was about. But like I said, I got sacked. It wasn't even my fault at the time. But they asked me to go back a couple of weeks later. Funny enough. But like I said, I went to work for TWE. They realised that it wasn't my fault. So I basically had left the room and someone had put porn on my computer. So I got done for for that, basically. Some idiot that sat by me has gone onto my computer, put a load of porn on my computer. I've gone back, and one of the managers has gone on there and seen it's on there, and he thinks I put it on there.
Do you know what? That's something that always happened in call centres, though.
Oh, they do it in the job I'm in now. They just do it for fun now. I think it's just accepted now. I think it's just like you just click it off. But like I said, back then I got sacked because of that, and it wasn't my fault.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. You do still speak to Twee, you know, and are you still working for Twee?
No, I'm actually working for Mark Standish, who there was glimpses of him on the program. At the time, he was a solicitor for the company, so he had left there himself, and there's a couple of others that had set up another call centre when Nev's place was on its way down. They'd left there and basically set up their own place. So I've been working for them. I left, I think it was 2014. The call centre. Like I was there 2011 to 2014. I went to work for Twee for about 2 years, 2014 to 16, and the last sort of 7-8 years I've been where I'm at now, which is for 3 people that actually used to work for Nev. They set up their own place, so I'm doing life insurance now, which is really good, and it's really good money in it. So I'm enjoying that.
Excellent stuff.
Same job though. Same job. On the phones, selling rather than selling like boilers, installation, loft and walls, it's different products, same sort of thing, life insurance, but the money's better than life insurance.
To be honest, you know, sales is a place where you can make some good money, and you know, I'm still in it. I'm still in sales.
It is surprising, you know. People say, "Oh, yeah, you're in a call center job, or you nuisance calling, you cold calling. Oh, it's just another call center." It's surprising because there's a lot of friends of mine that have got very good jobs, you know, and I earn a lot more than a lot of them, you know, that are on very good jobs.
I guess it's the hunger as well, isn't it? You know, the hunger to keep succeeding, keep, you know, hitting those targets. You know, sales isn't for everybody if they haven't got that hunger in them. But
no, you've got to be mentally strong because it can be draining. But like I said, you've got to be positive, enthusiastic, but mentally driven because, like I said, it can affect you. But as long as you're earning a good basic, it's down to you how much you want to earn effectively. You know, it is to a certain effect, it is uncapped. You know, there's a lot of money to be earned.
Yeah, there is, and you know that's why I'm still in it. In fact, I did leave the sales industry for a while, you know, and I think it was for about 18 months. I say a while, 18 months. And I thought, I want to get back into it. So yeah,
it's a good buzz. It is a good buzz as well. It's like I think I get the same sort of buzz. You know, if I'm playing football, I score a goal, and I get a buzz. You know, or if I'm on the phone, I sell a policy to a customer, I get that buzz. You know.
Yeah, no, definitely, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. From the call center, do you still speak? Who do you still speak to?
So I was really close with Griff before he sadly passed. I was really close with Ned before he sadly passed. I'd actually went to a celebrity match about a month or two before Nev passed, so I'm glad I seen him and went to that game because I hadn't spoken to him for a while before that, just because no particular reason, but we just sort of grew apart a little bit.
Yeah.
But we got back in contact through COVID, and this celebrity game was coming up, so we started speaking again regular before he passed. Obviously, I used to go see Griff regularly. Griff sort of kept himself to himself. He used to go play golf all the time. He used to go play golf with him. I used to go to his house, visit him, you know, speak regular on social media, on the phone, send each other jokes, that sort of thing. I went to his comedy nights a lot after the call centre. He did comedy nights, so I went to them a lot and supported him. I speak to Hayley quite regular. I seen Hayley a couple of months ago, but I speak to her quite regular on Instagram and that. Twee, I was really close with for many years, but since he's had sort of his business, he's had children. I haven't spoken to him as much. We're still close, you know. We still speak here and there, but not seen him as much. But but Hayley and Twee, but a lot of the people that were on the program that didn't have airtime, I'm still close to now and work for now. But they weren't like heavy feature. They were just like sort of background or saying one or two things. I work with quite a lot of them now that were working in the call center.
the people that weren't heavily featured, was it out of their own choice? Did they choose not to really
Well,
get involved?
if they didn't want to be in it, they had to sign it, or they just the BBC would like cut and edit them. Then you see, they did have a choice. Some people didn't care. Some people were like really against it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, of course, you're all big Swansea fans. I know Griff was a big Swansea fan. Nev was a big
Massive,
Swansea
yeah.
fan.
Me, Griff and Ev, massive Swansea City fans. Loved our
Yeah,
football.
always took pleasure as well. I remember in Cardiff getting beat.
Oh, Griff, Nev used to take me down the Swans all the time. She used to have like good seats and
Mm,
like food before the games. Uh, that came with the seats, free drink and all that. I used to go down, and I went down to a Cardiff game once he had a box and that. But like I used to go down literally every single week with Nev. So free tickets, literally all the big games where no one could get tickets for. Arsenal, Man United. All the big teams, and it was very handy being friends with him.
yeah, definitely. Well, Swansea, unfortunately, are back in the Championship. And it's been a tough old season so far this season. What's gone wrong, do you feel, since the Premier League days?
A lot of people are blaming the owners, and rightly so. They bleed the money out the club. If you come across a good player or youth product, they just shipped out straight away for tens of millions even, and it just seems like the money's not then put back into the club. The club are always looking like for a free transfer or a loanee type player, but it's like the amount of money they've accumulated, over the years for transfers for players. Wilfred Boney, Joe Allen, Ben Davis, Connor Roberts. These players have gone for tens of millions. And it just seems like they haven't been putting the money back into the club, so we've gone backwards a bit. Just seem to be going through managers a lot now, and the last few seasons as well, there hasn't seemed to be many sort of youth players coming through that have
Yeah.
potentially lived up to being a first team regular. I mean, like I said, over the years, we've had Joe Allen, Connor Roberts, we've had many youngsters, Ben Davis, many youngsters that have come through and, grown as a player, developed and moved on for big money. But it just seems that we haven't got those type of players at the minute coming through, and we're trying to like sort of scrimp by, but getting a loan in, a free transfer in here and there. But it just seems like they're taking the money out of the club that, a lot of the fans aren't happy with the owners.
The build up, to actually get into the Premier League in the first place, Swansea were a beautiful side to watch,
Oh, yeah,
in
brilliant.
the Championship under Hugh Jenkins and, of course, Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, it's like we lost our way as well. We lost
Mm,
the players, and we've gone backwards a bit, and we haven't invested into the team like we should have. And we've lost our way. We've gone backwards a bit, and I honestly can't see us leaving the championship for many years. I can see us being one of those clubs that's just going to hover on the championship for many years. I can't see us going down because we always seem to have enough to stay up. And
yeah.
at the same time, I don't think we've got enough quality then to push ourselves back up and kick on again because we're not investing enough. And we're just not bringing the right players to do that. But we're always hovering about the mid-table. We'll go down a bit, we'll come back up a bit. We know we're there. Mid-table a little bit up, a little bit. We're not kicking on, or we're not dropping too low either. So it's like we've gone to like a mediocre championship team now. We're neither here, we're neither there.
I think was it 2011 that you got promoted to the
Yeah,
Premier League, didn't you?
yeah.
Through the playoff final, and then that following season, if I'm right in thinking,
I
was
went.
that
It
the
was
season?
Reading. We had
Yes.
the Bradford in the cup. Reading was the playoff,
Yeah.
which we went up, and then we had Bradford in the cup. Then, and then we won the Carling Cup. Was it the Carling Cup or the Worthington Cup? Carling Cup, I think it was
Carling
at
Cup,
the
I
time.
think it was,
It
wasn't it?
changes it changes its name so much I
Yeah.
can't keep up with it. I don't even know what it's called now. I got the Liverpool game on here. I don't even know what the cup's called. Or Carabao Cup has just popped up. But they changed the name so much I can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to the final then as well, where we beat Bradford 5-0. So, but we've had some honestly great memories, brilliant memories. We within a season or two, we've won the Carling Cup. We're in Europe. We've had some great times as a Swans fans, but we've had some shit times as well.
Did you manage to go to any of the European games?
No, I was meant to go to one in Austria. I can't remember what it was, but I didn't end up going. I was gutted about that, but that would have been a good experience. The Valencia game looked good. The sun was shining. I think we won that as well.
And there was one player I actually would just wanted to bring it up. From the Premier League years, I think it was the first season you was in the Premier League. Meet you.
Me too. Oh, what a steal he was! I think he was only
Yeah,
about 1.5 million, 2 million a push. I think he was. An
yeah.
absolute steal he was, and he had a great season. I think there was clubs coming in for him, and then I think we held off a bit then, and then he tailed off because he picked up injuries and that. Then and he just sort of just fizzled out, and then disappeared back to Spain. And that I think he tried playing lower league Spain, and like I said, struggled with injuries ever since. But that one season, he was brilliant, unbelievable.
He was electric, really, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Really,
just
really good player.
yeah. He wasn't quite the 9, but he wasn't quite a 10. He was just, he's a funny player, but he's a top player.
So, of course, you got ourselves in this next round of the Cup, in the FA Cup. We've already played each other once so far this season, but we are a lot better side now than we was the last time we played you.
Yeah,
How do you think?
us going away, I can't see us getting a result at all. I don't fancy us in the Championship. Never mind playing against a Premier League team.
How do you think, though, you could stop us? Is there any way of stopping Bournemouth in full flow?
I got to be honest. Like with the Swans, you don't know, they're messing about with the lineup so much. You don't know who's going to start from one game to the next. I tell you, he's a very good player. He's got a lot of potential that I think could kick on and maybe sort of play lower league Premier League teams as Patino, but he hasn't been playing regular with us either. He's in and out again. He should be starting all the time. He's a quality player, so
Yeah.
he could be one to watch tomorrow if he's playing. Balassi, his best years are behind him, but I think on his day, I think he could cause trouble tomorrow if he starts. I think he's in contention for a start from what I was reading up earlier. So I think Patino and Balassi, them two could be the ones to watch for me. So like I said, Patino technically gifted. He's a youngster. He's coming through. He's gaining first team football with the Swans at the minute. And like I said, Balassi, he's got experience. And on his day, he's looked good, in parts for the Swans. And if he turns up, he could be a handful because he's always been awkward and he's always been a handful. So I'd say watch out for them too. I think them two could be the ones that could, maybe cause an upset. But I can't see it if I'm being honest.
Well, you've got Jamal Lowe back on loan
I
from
think
ourselves.
he's gone backwards. I think honestly he's gone
Mm.
backwards.
In his first spell with Swansea, what did you make of him?
Like again, another player very awkward. You don't know what you're going to get from him from one game to the next. He's very inconsistent. He can look sharp and he can look. I won't say a world beater, but he can look like he can do a job one day, and then he can just go completely missing the next. And it's just like we haven't got the same Jamal Lowe that we had a few seasons ago.
Hmm.
He doesn't even look a threat at the minute. He's had 1 or 2 goals and that, but he doesn't look like he can be a reliant number 9, number 10 sort of type player that's going to score goals consistently. I just can't see it. He's very frustrating. Just goes missing.
You do have some good players though in the squad, and that's the thing that surprised me. Why Swansea aren't higher up in the Championship? You know, do you feel that the manager is one thing is at fault, or do you feel that it's a case that
It's a bit of everything, if I'm being honest. Like I said, investing in the squad, and then it's down to the managers to buy the right players.
yeah.
Um, like I said, Patino, I think he's a very good loanee.
Hmm.
Balassi, it's hard to tell. Now his contract's up now. I think it's this week. His contract's up. It's only like a 2-month loan, 2-month
Yeah.
sign on. Sorry, but like I said, his best years look behind him. But at the same time, he's looked really good and sharp in parts, and he looks like he could be a handful. But like I said, we've got a few good players, but strength and depth, I think we need a good few more players if we're going to kick on and push for playoffs and automatic positions, because we're not going to be doing it at the minute. Like I said, managers in and out. I don't know much about this new manager, so I can't comment. It's still early days. He's only been there a few games, so it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to do. from now until the end of the season, whether you're going to build ready for next season. I'm assuming now, because I can't see us doing anything this year. We're not going to go up, and we're certainly not going to go down.
Of course, there was that change, wasn't there? It was in December that Michael Duff got sacked, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why. There was just something about him. I was just never fussed in his decisions and picking certain players and making substitutes certain times of the game and things like that. I don't know. I never took a shine to Michael Duff, so it'll be interesting to see how the new manager does. But it's a great job to have. Swansea are a great club.
Yeah.
But it all depends what backing he's going to get. If he's going to get some money over the summer, I can't see it. I think it's going to be the same again, where we're going to be looking at free players or players that are a few $100,000 or loan players again. But the investment has been shit, if I'm honest, the last few seasons.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. I do this with all guests, Chickenhead, and this is the prediction. I know that you've said you can't see us.
Nah.
See you getting anything against us, I should say. What do you think the score will be?
Honestly, I suppose it depends if Bournemouth, if they're going to put. It's hard to predict these FA Cup ties.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what lineup or what team's going to start from one game to the next. Some games like focusing on the leagues where they're going to rest players, as some teams going to focus on, right, we'll try and win a cup. It's hard to predict what the lineups are going to be, but if both teams are going to put their strongest lineups, I don't know. 3-1, I fancy Bournemouth, if I'm being honest. If I'm being realistic, I fancy Bournemouth to win. But I'd like to see an upset. Don't get me wrong, but personally, I can't see it happen based on how we played this season so far.
Do you know what? You're the third person to actually predict, against your own team. I think we will probably.
Did you say the third person or the first person?
The third person. The third person. Yeah, not the first person. The third person.
Has someone else done it?
Yeah. Sheffield United. Sheffield United was the first one. Who was the second one?
I thought you meant you'd spoken to other two people from Swansea or something.
No. The third person to go against your own team, but I think we'll probably get through. But I think it's going to be tougher. I think it's going to be tougher than we think, because we've got a little bit of a makeshift back four at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, it all depends if Bournemouth will rest players and think, all right, we'll rest players now for the next Premier League fixtures, or we've got big games coming up and we want to make sure we stay away from safety and all that. It's hard to predict, but yeah, I think you have more than enough to beat us.
No, fair enough. Well, before I let you go, what's next up for Chickenhead? Have you got any other plans? Are you going to be playing in any more matches, charity matches?
Something crops up here and there, but off the top of my head, I haven't got nothing planned that's coming up. Obviously, I'll be speaking to Leicester City, your friend there, next Monday.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but that's as far as it goes, to be fair. Just pretty quiet my end. I don't use Twitter as much as I used to. I'm not big on the old. So I use a bit of Facebook, and I only set up Instagram about a year. I'm not big on the old social media like I used to be.
No,
I think I've just gone old and boring. I think I can't be a bit mental. I can't be a bit mental, though.
But no, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you today, Chickenhead. I keep calling you Chickenhead. I should call you Matthew.
Yeah, it's a funny old nickname, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's an absolutely brilliant nickname. What was my nicknames? Scooby was one of them, because I ran like Scooby-Doo at football. And somebody once called me the Beast. I don't know where that come from, but I think
you look a bit of a lump, is it?
Well,
you look a bit of a lump.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where it come from. I think it was in Federaki, and this really weird story. Say no more. You don't know who's watching.
I was watching a podcast the other day. Funny, Ali McCoist and I can't remember who it was. Or Andy Townsend. Talk Sport. You should watch that. Search it up. It's funny where you got people calling in and they're saying the nicknames they've heard of. It's brilliant. Yeah, listen to it. It's a great one. And I love Ali McCoy. I'd love to go see him as do a guest speaker night. I think he's hilarious. Great commentator, pundit, and he's brilliant on the talk sport as well.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, we are the TalkSport network channel for AFC Bournemouth as well. So, yeah, I'm sure they'll be delighted to hear that as well because
I absolutely love Ali McCoy. I could watch him all day. You know the Paul Gascoigne stories. I went to see Paul Gascoigne last year. I did, and he was brilliant. Honestly, absolutely brilliant. And all the stories McCoy has about Gaza, they're hilarious. Me and Griff used to listen to him all the time.
He's a gent as well because, of course,
Yeah,
Gaza lives around here.
yeah. What is he? Oh, yeah, he's done that way, isn't he?
Yeah, he's down here. In fact, it's quite funny because I
Yeah, I
was.
forgot he was down south. You know he's from north. He's down south, isn't he?
Yeah, he's down here, and I was taking the little, and he'll always speak to people. Unfortunately, I haven't spoken to him in any depth. A couple of my friends have, but he was with his family, so I didn't want to disturb him. But I saw him. I was taking my son to like this splashdown water park thing, and there was Gaza, and and my son was like, "Who are you looking at?" It's like
I,
that's got him there.
I had a great picture with him, and he's looked up to me, going, "Oh, you got a good Barnet." He said to me, "Oh, he's hilarious. You got a great Barnet." He said to me, and it's funny you mentioned Gaza. I don't know if you watched back in the show. I came in one morning, and I was absolutely pissed as a fart, stinking of booze. I haven't been home the night before. I've gone straight into work, stinking of booze. I've sat next to Griff, and he's looked at me, shaked his head. He goes, "You're going to end up like Gaza, you are." And I was like, "What?" I said to him, "How long do you think Gaza's got left?" And he goes, 90 minutes plus injury. Honestly, bonkers. Because at the time, Gaza had just been taken into hospital
Yeah.
because he'd had an issue with his drinking again, didn't he? And I'd come in stinking of booze. Oh, it was hilarious. I think I spat my coffee out at the time.
That's what makes it a call centre, though.
Oh,
That's what
honestly.
makes a call centre. Is people like Griff, who just come out with things when you're not expecting it.
Yeah. The bloke was bonkers, honestly. Mad as a box of frogs.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, it's just such a shame he's not here with us.
Oh, I swear down, right? You would love this. I'd have him sitting next to me, and he would probably be pushing me out of the way the FaceTime.
Yeah.
He just want to just yap, me, talk about himself. He's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He'd love this now. He'd come off here and think he's a professional football pundit or commentator or something. He'd come off after this. He'd be telling everyone about it. He'd be sharing it. He'd be posting it. He'd come off here thinking he's Gary Lineker. Honestly.
Do you know what? I would love to do that. I would have loved to have done that. Griff, and actually, I would have brought my mate along as well. It's Pat, and just let the two of them have a conversation.
You should go on YouTube and type in his Griff's best bits, and hilarious.
Yeah,
it's well worth a watch.
Yeah.
Some good bits.
Most definitely. Well, Chickenhead, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Do go and enjoy Leicester Till I Die next Monday. He's jumped in there, hasn't he, Chris?
Well, I got to be honest. I had a message off him. I didn't even know we were playing Leicester on Tuesday. I had to go on and check. I had to go on and check the fixtures. I was like, "Are we home and away?" Because I was focused on this game now because it's the FA Cup. It's a bit of a big fixture, I suppose, because we're playing a Premier League team. And like I said, I had to go and check the fixtures. I didn't even know we were playing Leicester on Tuesday, but I look forward to that.
Yeah, he's a good lad. He's a good lad.
I'll try and wangle a ticket off him. I'll see if he can sort me out a ticket. I'd go up then, see?
Yeah, do it, mate. Do it.
I'll try my best.
He does a watch along a lot of the time as well. So I tell you what, try and get a place on his watch along. Just wind him up.
I was going to come down to Bournemouth many years ago. I don't know if you remember Sean McDonald.
Yes.
So me and Sean McDonald used to play in the same team as kids down the Swans. We used to play against each other and that. Sean played in the celebrity matches I played in as well. Lovely lad. I've known him since I was about 8, 9 years old from playing against him and playing with him. He was playing for Bournemouth, didn't he, for a number of years?
Yeah,
There's
good player.
Clips of him playing against some top professionals.
Yeah.
I think one game he's playing against Ronaldo, and one game I think in a friendly or something.
Yes, it
Pre-season
was
tour, I think it was.
Was it the Real Madrid friendly? I'm sure it
Yeah,
was.
I think. Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
might. I think it was. I don't know. There's a pre-season tour or something like that. And he's got a great picture on social media of him and Ronaldo.
Yeah. We did
Fair play.
get battered by Real Madrid, but hey,
Yeah,
it happens.
yeah, he's a lovely lad, Sean is.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. And good player as well. Good
Yeah,
player for
very
this
good player.
football club.
Still can play now, mind, even though he's retired from the professional game. He's playing for Penabont now in sort of like the Welsh Premier.
Yeah.
He can still play a bit. Still a
Yeah.
good player.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get him on here at some point. That would be ideal. But
Yeah, that's no problem. I got Sean on all my social medias. We have a chat here and there on the inbox and that. So if you want me to ask him, there's no problem.
yeah, let's get him on. Let's get Sean McDonald on.
Yeah, it'd be worth it because obviously he's played for Swansea and he's played for Bournemouth, isn't it? So it'd be well worth it.
Definitely, mate. But no, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure, and
Yeah, no
we'll
problem at
no
all.
doubt catch up on social media very, very soon.
Yeah, no problem at all. Top man.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks.
And thank you everybody for joining us on this show. Hit the like, the subscribe, the bell button below, and let us know your predictions for the game. Do check out all of our other interviews as well. We've had Steve Cook, Steve Fletcher on here, plus lots more. Joe Roach. There's lots of content to enjoy. But until the next video, up the cherries. We'll see you soon. Thank you for joining us.